Meditation isn't something that you do. Meditation is something you become meditative. Now, what you do in order to get into that meditative state is up to you, right? This is your power. This is your choice. Hi, everyone. I'm Carrie, your host for the No Bullshit Spirituality podcast. In this episode today, I'm going to be talking to you about feeling your way to what you love. And again, as always, going to share a story. Why? Because we're human beings and we all like to hear stories, right? And they're fun. They're fun to share, they're fun to tell, and they're fun to listen to. It makes receiving the lessons of life just that little bit easier. So why not share a story? Now, anyone who knows me, you will know that I am a hugely curious person, and I've tried all sorts of weird and wonderful things in my time. One of the things that I learned from doing my 1,000 hours of yoga teacher training here in Thailand is that don't knock it till you've tried it. We were encouraged to do so many weird and wonderful things with our bodies, with our breathing, with our eating. And back in my conventional life, might you say, I would have turned my nose up at these things and I would have said, oh, what are you doing that for? But obviously I was in an environment where I couldn't really say no. And I was up for it. So I did it. And it was through doing all these weird and wonderful things that I was like, oh my God, like they actually work. What I learned was you can't judge something until you have tried it for yourself. Now, one of those weird and wonderful things that you might consider weird and wonderful anyway, not for me, it was a bloody delight, was I went on a 10-day Vipassana. Now, what is that? Vipassana is a Buddhist meditation practice, traditionally lasting 10 days. It is where you take yourself to a meditation center and for 10 days you are silent and you eat really bland food and you do nothing but listen to the Buddhist monk and meditate. That's it, simplified. Obviously, there are very many variations of Vipassanas, and I'm not going to go into what they are, but simplified, 10 days, silence, bland food, meditate. And in that process, in that container of nothingness, because, you know, there isn't a lot. You eat bland food so that your mind doesn't go crazy, because your mind actually is reacted by interesting and exciting foods. So in that blandness of food, in that peace, that silence, you create the space, because there's no distractions, you create the space for all of the emotions, the thoughts and everything to come up so that you can observe them and so that you can release them. All of the judgments, all of the resistances, you are there to let them go. And I actually did mine in the UK. I know it. I did some shorter ones here in Thailand before going in for my 10 days. I did 3 days in a temple in Thailand. I did a couple of single days. But I went full throttle, 10 days in the UK at a meditation center somewhere in the south. Can't remember where now. All I do remember is that it was in stunning surroundings, beautiful nature. The food was incredible, which is completely opposite to what a Vipassana should really be. And I didn't want to leave. After the 10 days, they take your phone off you as you go in. And I didn't even want my phone back. I was the last person to leave because I was having such a great time of just being with me. No distractions, no conversations, no bullshit, basically. So part of the practice is at 4 a.m. you wake up, or 4:30, again, depends where you are, and you go into the meditation hall, you sit and you meditate for your first session. But me, being me, I ended up gravitating towards something different. I still got up at 4 and I went and made my morning drink in the kitchen because, again, you know, this seemed to be a very relaxed Vipassana. I made my morning drink, and rather than sitting in the canteen to drink it, or the kitchen, I went outside. Why? Because I wanted to watch sunrise. In England, the sun does come up really early in the summer, and it was summer. And I ended up finding this spot in the very back far corner of the garden. And I sat up against this fence because obviously couldn't go past the fence. Why did I do that? Because beyond the fence, there was this field. There were some cows or some horses, obviously depending on the day. And there was these trees, and the sun was rising behind those trees. And so I took my hot drink to sit by this fence and watch the sunrise. Again, if you know me, if you've been reading my blogs, you know I love a sunrise. No one will tell me if I can or cannot watch a sunrise. And so eventually I went from going in the meditation hall, as I was told, to taking my drink outside and then going into the meditation hall late, to just not going into the meditation hall at all, taking my drink, sitting by the fence and being present for the entire sunrise and for the entire meditation session until I was ready to go back in for breakfast, which was delightful, by the way. But I was still meditating, right? I was still being present with the elements, with nature. I gravitated towards the thing that nourished me and lit me up the most. I didn't want to go and sit in that meditation hall with my legs crossed, with my back hurting, focusing on my breath, feeling the air going in my nostrils, out my nostrils. I didn't want to do that. I'm not saying that I couldn't do that. I'm saying that I chose not to. And I'm not saying that that is not a beneficial meditation practice. What I'm saying is I didn't want to do it. What I wanted to do was honor my desires, honor my needs, which was to go outside and be with nature and to meditate in a way that satisfied me, that nourished me, that gave me everything that I wanted. And I realized that I wasn't there to learn how to meditate. I mean, I did. Don't get me wrong. Morning was the only one when I went against the grain. I did sit in the other sessions and I did listen to the Dharma and everything else because I'm also very curious in that. But I wasn't there for that. I was there for the container of silence, no distraction, the ability to just be with myself in a guided space. Because at that time in my life, I didn't have the discipline necessary in order to not go to my phone, not allow the noise of the world to leak in and for me to react to that. I just didn't have it. So this container provided me with that space that I was so much yearning for. Now, the other thing that I learned in that time was the importance to me of going to what feels good. Because I knew that if I was going to sustain these 10 days, I had to meditate in a way that nourished me, right? I want to explain what meditation is in order to be able to go further on this one, right? So meditation isn't something that you do necessarily. Meditation is something you become. You become meditative. Now, what you do in order to get into that meditative state is up to you, right? This is your power. This is your choice. If sitting cross-legged in a room, breathing in and out your nose and focusing on the sensations as you do, if that dulls you to shit, don't do it, is what I say. Because are you going to sustain it? Are you going to do it over and over again? Are you going to look forward to doing what is necessary in order to gain a meditative state? No, you're not. And you're just going to sit there going, I can't do it. I'm shit at this. I'm useless. I can't stop the thoughts, which isn't actually a point of meditation at all. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. So meditation is something you become. And as I said, I learned to go towards what feels good. And I gained all the benefits of being meditative for those days because I allowed myself to do what brought me joy in order to gain a meditative state. Now, most people will say, yeah, but that's completely against what Vipassana is about, Carrie. Yeah, but I'm not down with that. I'm not down with, like, it has to be painful. It has to be a chore. It has to be a struggle, right? If I'm going to sit and meditate and become meditative, I'm going to do it in a way that I want, that excites me. It's as simple as that. I'm giving myself permission to do that because I'm in control, because I am the creator of my life and I will have the experience that I want. Now, don't get me wrong. I can endure pain. I can endure suffering. Christ knows I do it every other bloody place in my life, or many of them. So give me this is what I say. So let's have a look at what meditation actually is. Right. So there's 3 stages that you need to go through before you can gain a meditative state, which is ultimately what we're trying to do. The first stage is pratyahara. Pratyahara is where we prepare ourselves for meditation. We do something in order to prepare our muscles, release stagnant energy. We push away the distractions of the world. What does this look like in practice? Well, you might turn your phone off. You might shut the door. You might turn off your internet. You might do some yoga. You might stretch a little bit. You might, I don't know, have a sing song or whatever. You release that energy, what could be a distraction. You might even journal, for example. And then when you've released the energy, when you've turned off and pulled yourself away from the distractions of the universe, then you sit down and you go into the second phase, which is svarayaya. Now, svarayaya is becoming the silent witness. So you do nothing but observe what is already happening within the mind. Where does your attention go? What narratives do you have going on? What feelings are present? What are you saying to yourself? Where does it hurt in your body? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? You don't do anything with these things other than just observe them. So when you say, oh, I can't meditate, it's not working, I can't stop the thoughts, you're not meant to stop the thoughts. By the very fact that you are breathing, you will think, you will have thoughts. So we're not here to try and stop them. But the second phase of becoming meditative is to observe what is present without judgment. And if you do judge, observe that you're judging. And then we go into the third phase, because eventually all of this chaoticness that might be present in the mind does start to become easier. It does start to calm down. It does start to slow down. And then we come into the third part, which is dharana or dharana, however you want to say it. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. And this is where we then put our awareness, which was on all of this chaos in our mind, we place this awareness into one point of focus. Now, in the example of the Vipassana, with this particular practice, it's breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose, and noticing the sensations. That's one example, right? What else might you do for this one pointed concentration? You might go for a run. Your concentration is on your breath as you're running. You might go swimming. You might train Muay Thai. You might draw a mandala. You might color in a picture. You might do cross stitch or sewing or knitting. Whatever it is, you bring your awareness, attention, and focus to one point. Now, I've just given you lots of examples. This, in my opinion, is the beauty of us being the conscious creators of our life. If I don't want to sit there focusing on the pain that's going on in my body, or if I don't want to sit there observing the air as it goes in and out my nostrils, I'm not going to. I'm going to do what I want to do. And for me, personally, that is Muay Thai or exercise of some kind. Because I am totally focused about what's going on, because I don't want to break my back or get kicked in the face or whatever. So I'm totally focused on what my body is doing, the coordination aspect, bringing the breath in at the same time, etc. Or I'm going to sit and draw a mandala because I bloody love doing it. It's my ability to express my creation, but it also is one single point of focus. And in this particular example, where I was on this Vipassana, it was observing nature during sunrise, watching the colors change, watching the animals and listening to the birds wake up. I was observing the emotions and the energy changing inside of me. That was my single point of focus in this example. And as a result of that, I became meditative and I gained all of the benefits that a meditative state brings us. Again, the answer to that is another podcast or the workshop that I have. Other things that I do, I hike, I journal, I do yoga, I colour in mandalas, I do yoga nidra. I'm trying to think of other things that I do. I even breathe. I do breathing techniques. That's all I've got right now off the top of my head. As I say, you might do the washing up, you might do gardening, you might do a jigsaw. Doesn't matter. One point of focus. But you do need to go through those 3 stages. You need to withdraw yourself from the distractions of the universe. You need to release that kept up energy. You then need to become the witness of the mind, and then you can go into your point of focus. So for me, my top 3 things that I like to do for meditation is nature. Nature is my bloody thing. Whether I'm sitting in it, whether I'm walking in it, whether I'm, I don't know, swimming in it, it's that. I love to move my body. That's another thing that I do. And my creative expression, creating beauty through my artistry. Is that a word? I don't know. What I dislike and what I don't want to do is the Buddhist practice of observing the breath as it goes through your nostrils, chanting a mantra. It's not my favourite. And I don't like practicing all of this compassionate love and light bollocks. Not that I'm not love and light, not that I'm not compassionate, but to me, it's false. It's just spiritual bypassing. And I don't even like that term either. So I don't even know why I said it. No, we have to welcome the duality of ourselves, which is the light and the dark. So just pretending that everything is love and light is bullshit. Because it ain't. So I said to you at the beginning of this podcast that this was about learning how to move towards the things that you love, that bring you joy, right? So I've just given you a very long-winded example, but what can you do? Number one, I've created this thing called my love and curiosity lists, right? What you need to do, first of all, is you need to start to create a list of all the things that you love to do. What's on it? Do you know what to put on it? Can you get to 20 things? Are there 20 things that you love to do? And I don't mean go to the cinema, watch movies. I mean, yeah, you might like to do those things, but I mean things that light you up, that give you that burn in your tummy, that you look forward to doing. Examples of mine are journaling. I love sitting in a cafe, people watching, journaling. I love it. I love drawing mandalas. I love training Muay Thai, hiking in nature. I love drinking red wine and eating chocolate. Yes, I'm human. I like to do those things. What else do I love? Travel. I absolutely adore traveling and exploring and adventure, trying new things. It lights me up. So the aim here is to get to 20 things that you love. If you can't get to 20, don't panic, because this is where we then move on to our curiosity list. And this list is exactly that, all of the things that you are curious about, because your curiosities are an indicator from your higher self. There's something in here for you to explore, try, and see. You will learn from this thing that you are curious about. For a very long time, I've been curious about jewellery making. Maybe I should take my own medicine and actually go and join a class. I know what I'm not curious about. I am not curious about BJJ or ninjutsu or MMA. No, I'm not. So it's not going on my list. I'm sticking with Muay Thai. And to start to create this curiosity list, if you really don't know what to put on it, I've created a list of questions to help you. You want to be asking yourself things like, when I was a kid, what did I always want to do? Like, what did I do for fun? What did I want to try? What did I want to be when I grew up? What were my fantasies? And it doesn't even need to be when you're a kid. What about now? What are your fantasies? When you look at other people and they're doing these things, what do you get jealous about? What do you think, oh, I want to try that? Or what do you keep meaning to getting around to doing? Like me and my jewellery workshop. If you had a day off, for example, money was no option, time was no option, what would you do? What would you go and do? What would you like to try? So what I've done is I've created a love list and a curiosity list for you with some prompt questions, and you can download that from the show notes. And what do we do with this love list? Well, first of all, as I said, you try to get to number 20. If you can't, go over to your curiosity list. Now, with the love list, make a commitment to bringing more of those things into your life on a daily basis. Now, it doesn't mean I like drinking coffee, I like eating chocolate, and I like journaling. So what I'll do is every morning I'll sit down with my coffee, eat chocolate and journal. There you go, done. Did it, Carrie? No, that's not how it works. We need to make a conscious effort to bring variety of these things into our lives as much as possible. Because when we step on the path of doing what we love, we naturally raise our resonance. We are gravitating towards the things that make us feel good. Therefore, we see more of what makes us feel good. And we have a tendency to want to bring more of what makes us feel good into our lives. And therefore, our life just turns into one big feel good factor. And when we raise our resonance, we can see more potential possibility, we can dream bigger, and we have more conviction behind what it is that we want to create. Now, with the curiosity list, what we do with that is we make a commitment to trying one of these things. You might want to try one every week. You might want to try one every month. I know some of these are going to cost money. Maybe that's why you've never done it. Well, then start saving up. Make a commitment to doing what it is that your soul is asking you to do. But we make a commitment to regularly go to one of these things that's on our curiosity list and you try it. Process of elimination, worst case scenario. If you don't like it, I didn't like that. What did I learn from it? Never going to do it again. Like me with the Vipassana. No, I'm not going to sit cross-legged with pain in my back, focusing on my breath. I'd rather go and sit outside and watch the sunrise. There we go. I learned something. So go to the show notes and download the love and curiosity lists. The other thing is, as you are going through these things, is to observe. Observe how you feel. And you can start with the easy ones. I know that drawing a mandala brings me joy. All right, draw a mandala then. Observe the feelings of joy. Observe the feelings of peace. Observe all of the feelings that this action brings to you. Make note of them. And then when you go to other things, when you just happen to be living your life, or when you go to your curiosity list and try one of those things, you actually know what energy, what sensation you're looking out for. Because for some people, connecting to the sensation, to the feeling of joy or love or hope or awe or happiness is really hard. So when you do something that you know is good for you, notice how it makes you feel. Observe. And if it doesn't make you feel good, this thing on your curiosity list, don't do it again. And if it does bring you joy, that thing on your curiosity list, do more of it. Bring it onto your love list. Do it regularly. Light yourself up. Why? Because that's what we're here for. We're here to have fun. We're here to bring joy into our lives. We're here to have everything that we've ever bloody wanted. It's conditioning and people's bollocks that has brought us away from this knowing. We're not here for suffering. We're not here for punishment. We're here for joy and love and passion and all of the other things that you class as happy emotions. So bring more of it into your life. Give yourself more of that. You are the only person that can give yourself permission to have that in your life. And if you are noticing things that are coming up for you, like, yeah, but Carrie, I don't have the time, or I don't have the money, or yeah, but Carrie, it's all right for you. You don't have 3 kids. Notice those objections, those resistances that you have. Because these too are your internal blocks and they don't need to be the reason why you don't have joy in your life. All right, I'm going to stop banging on now and we're going to conclude. So go to the show notes, download those love and curiosity lists if you want to embark on this challenge and go and find out more about yourself. Connect to who you are and what you love. Actually, this is one of the things that I give clients to do when they say that they've lost their selves, when they say that they don't know who they are, when they don't know what they love. This is the first thing, the first step in order to make that connection with you and yourself. So that is there for you. You can also get my workshop, What the Fuck is Meditation? Because so many people have this misconception about what meditation actually is or how they're meant to go about meditation. And I clear up all the myths like, I can't meditate. I'm not doing it right. I don't like meditation. It's boring. I clear all of those things up. And in that workshop, you get to experiment and try different types of meditation as you go through it. And also you learn about what it is and how you can make meditation fun for yourself. And obviously, I teach you all about the benefits of meditation and why you would even want to bloody bother in the first place. So those are available to you. If you have learned anything, if I've shared any golden nugget of wisdom with you that you've found useful, please do consider sharing this podcast episode with a friend or a loved one. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, give me a subscribe, all of those ding dongs that we need to do. And what else do I want to ask you to do? I think that's it. Click the subscribe and the bell button, because if you do that, then the next time that one of my episodes is released, you will be notified about it and you will get it first. So I'm full of useful information. Stick with me. It's laugh a minute. All right, loves. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I will speak to you next time on the next one. Until then, go meditate in a fun and joyous way. Love you, love.